Wayno here from the Wayno Project. I am up early in the morning. Want to get this lesson off before I get too busy for the day. Late night, last night, I was hanging over my sister's house, chopping it up. They cooked on the grill. We had some beers and just did what we do. But I had a cousin stop by, and I haven't seen her in over a year. And she always had that entrepreneur spirit. So she was talking about some of the developments in her life, including she lost her job back in February. But on the other side, she's starting a consulting business. She started a consulting business and she got 1 or 2 clients. So she's well on her way to a successful business. And some way or another, we started talking about manifestation and prayer and things that she do to keep herself motivated. And she said, you know, one of the things that I do is each morning I tell myself that I am wealthy, that money flows to me, that I am successful. All right, so she says she does these affirmations every morning and sometimes throughout the day. And so as I dug into the question, I asked her one question. When you finish saying those affirmations, when you finish saying those words, do you actually feel like it's true? And she gave me a long pause and she sipped whatever her drink was, something red, but she sipped her drink and said, you know what, real talk, I don't know. Said she don't know. And then she laughed, you know, and we both laughed together, you know, because we knew what it was. But I smiled and said, then who are you trying to convince when you say these affirmations? Because if you have to convince yourself that you're successful, that you're wealthy, that you're healthy, a part of you has already decided that you're not wealthy, healthy. And that's where most people unknowingly get stuck when it comes to affirmations. One of the things that I share with clients, right, is just one of those little background things, is by the way, you know, so I'll do this here on this platform. By the way, if you remember in scripture, Matthew 6:7, when you pray, do not use vain repetitions as a heathen do, for they think that they are being heard for their many words. If you remember that, right? Matthew 6:7. When you pray, do not, that's the key word, do not use vain repetitions as a heathen do, as a pagan do, right? For they think that they may be heard for their many words. The key part to the scripture, do not use vain repetition, right? People will command affirmations all throughout the day. Pray over and over and over again for their desires. That's not how you pray. It's in scripture right there. The command is there. When you pray, do not use vain repetition as a heathen do. Get this lesson. The vain repetition is not the lesson. You better feel me. The lesson is a request. Okay, the lesson is the request. Because you don't believe it has been received. That's the lesson when it comes to manifesting. When you want to manifest your desired reality, get this lesson in for today. Repetition is not how you pray. I was last weekend I was pre-screening a potential client, and the client is making $5,000 a month in income. Okay. By the way, if you're watching, I'm in Southwest DC, Washington DC. Going across the National Stadium is on my right side, and there are condos and apartments. You can see the actual Washington Monument ahead of me. So I'm just cutting through town today. But yeah, I have a client that makes a potential client, but the potential client makes about $5,000 a month in income, and their goal and desire is to pull in $25,000 a month in income. Here's the Nat Stadium. Nationals so far having a good season. I stopped by. I went to a game last week and we had a great time. All right, back to the women. The girl that I was screening last week. She makes $5K and she wants to get to $25K. And she said, this was a key statement. She said during our talk, once I hit $25K, then I'll feel confident in what I do. That's what she said in the meeting. Again, if the entrepreneur, okay, if you as an entrepreneur keep thinking and acting and speaking like somebody that makes $5,000 per month, then you will keep looping, recapping $5,000 per month. By the way, Washington Capitol is right in front of me. There's a lot of things going on in the city over this next couple of weeks as celebration for the 250th anniversary. So it might be some roadblocks that I'm having to navigate through. But again, if your desire to grow your business to a certain number, but if you continue to act, speak, think like the current number that you are, you're going to get the same results. It's going to just balance out to the same results. You have to become it first. Okay, you have to ride with the identity first if you want to grow to that desired outcome. Think about something significant you've achieved. Right? But think about the relationships that you have established, or a job or a house. Think about those milestones that you've accomplished. those financial goals that you hit. Before it became physical, there was a moment when you already accepted it mentally. Right? It was already accepted in your mind mentally. Think about that for a second. Did reality arrive first? Did the physical arrive first? Or did your beliefs, your mental, arrive first on those significant accomplishments? Right? If you think clean and think clear through that, most likely mentally it arrived first within you, and then it appeared in the physical reality. When I bought this vehicle, this Cadillac Escalade, bought it 2 years ago. I've owned a Cadillac Escalade since 2010. Right, so I always bought trucks, SUVs, but the Escalade is my favorite. But before I bought it, I'd driven it in my head thousands of times. I imagined it. Right? I felt it. I could smell what it smells like inside. I kept up on the interior designs. I started seeing a black Cadillac Escalade, okay, even when it transitioned to a new look. So the point is, I experienced it first within, and then within, without, in the physical reality. Again, please write this down as a highlight. The purpose of prayer, manifestation. The purpose is not to repeatedly ask for what you don't have. That's not the purpose. That's what pagans do. The purpose of prayer or manifestation is to enter the state where it's already happened. Okay, that makes sense? Wasn't planning on talking about this topic, but it was, it was on my mind this morning. Just late night with a few cold ones, a couple cubes in the glass, And I just thought this would be a good lesson for a broader audience to learn. I am in Northern Virginia right now. Pentagon is right over here. If you can see, Pentagon's. I'm actually going to get out of this lane. I'm going to go to the other lane. Yeah, the Pentagon is right there, right over here. And so this is Northern Virginia, Crystal City. A few other locations over here as well. But I hope you got the highlight for today. The highlight is prayer and manifestation. It's not a repeated thing that you do, okay? I know manifestation or mindset coaches talks about affirmations. I know we have been trained, doctrined to pray a certain type of way, but I'm here to inform you that that is not the command. Okay, the command is you have to enter the state where it already has happened. It's already done. It was written in my Nas voice. tough concept though. Tough concept to believe that is already done, especially when you can't see it in the physical reality. But what you want, your desire, the goal that you have is already in place. It's already done. You just have to select it. Put your attention to it. You don't need your homie. You don't need ChatGPT to confirm it or validate it for you. You don't need your girlfriend, your wife, husband to validate anything for you. Validate that you're on the right pathway. Confirm this, confirm that. I had a college buddy who came into some money after his mom passed, and he received life insurance policy. And the life insurance policy was some good money that he really wanted to use it in the right manner, in honor of his mom. So he really wanted to do something smart with the money. So he would ask me, he'll call and ask me, hey, this was like around 2021. He would call and ask me, hey, should I invest in Bitcoin? The next week he'll call and say, hey, I'm up in New Jersey. I'm looking at this real estate property. Should I invest in it? Right? Then I get a call a month later. Should I buy this franchise? It's a residential cleaning service franchise. Do you think this is a good move? That. And after a while, I realized he was playing on me. He wasn't really asking for information, knowledge, tips, advice. He really wasn't asking for that. He was asking for permission, for validation to do something, to go after something. It was like he needed my approval, me to approve the decision before he could trust himself to make that move. Right? So I told him at some point, you have to trust yourself, bro. Like you gotta keep it real with yourself. Once we did that, he started making moves. I mean, how many times had that happened to you? Where a family or colleague or business partner, they won't make the move. They know the answer. It's right in front of their face, but they won't make it unless it's validated first. Right? We all have family members that way, colleagues that act that way. When you look at some of these music artists that are, a certain reaction to, it depends on who's awarding, who's giving the honor. The Grammy Awards, validation. There's a lot of artists that need that validation for their career, that I am a Grammy Award winner. While others, like Drake, I listened to the album this morning. I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but he makes hits. He got some bops. I'm not, I got it. I get it. But Drake could care less about a Grammy Awards. And how many number ones have Drake achieved? How many hits have he put out? He could care less about Grammys. Right? Don't need the validation to know his greatness. While others need that validation to move to the next level. Right? Ain't that the story? Ain't that the story of the Wizard of Oz? The Wizard of Oz. Dorothy spent the entire movie searching for someone to tell her how to get home. Right? That's the movie, ain't it? The whole movie, what she's going through, she's searching for someone to tell her how to get home. The power was always with her. The power was always within her. She just didn't need, she really just didn't believe it, right? People were trying to tell her, but she didn't believe it. Why? Because she was looking for proof and evidence, right? Looking for proof and evidence. And once she realized that it's within her, then she was home. How often, as a business owner, content creator, or influencer, YouTuber, whatever you're doing, how often are you searching outside of yourself for something you already possess? Think about that for a second. Reflect on that. How often are you searching outside of yourself for something that's within you already? You want to manifest $1 million income. You already have the $1 million. So why are you searching outside of yourself for proof and evidence? You want the nice car, the home, the beautiful wife. Why are you searching outside? Looking for validations. When it's already done. Whatever you want, all possibilities of whatever you want already exists. It's all there in my Jeezy voice. Shout out to Young Jeezy. By the way, Trap or Die. It's all there. R.I.P. to Bankroll Fresh. Some of my favorite artists in the early 2000s. Down South rappers. Jeezy, definitely throw Wayne in the bucket. I'm gonna throw 365. 3-6 Mafia in a bucket. Project Pat got thrown in the bucket. Of course, Scarface. Scarface is always in DC now, performing with some of the go-go bands. But throw Scarface in there, 2000s, UGK. But shout out to Jeezy. I'm gonna go check out that concert. I think I will be in Vegas in September. And I'm gonna check out, definitely gonna check out that concert. I think it's at Planet Hollywood, if I heard it correctly. So I saw some of his press he's been doing, but that's gonna be a good experience. Black attire event, an orchestra background behind some of them songs. Yeah, that's gonna be a good look. So definitely gonna check out that. You know, one of the things I ask my clients when working with them is, if you knew it was guaranteed, right? It was a lock to happen, If you knew, if you knew, and it was guaranteed, you knew that was guaranteed to happen, how would you act differently right now? Okay, let's say that you're financially free. Okay, you don't work a job anymore. How would you act differently today if you were financially free? If that's the goal. If you wanted to lose 50 pounds, how would you feel today, right now? And it was guaranteed. Okay, guaranteed. How would you act? Something to think about. It's always a strong exercise. Always a strong exercise to do. Think about. You know, that same, some of these clients that come in, or who I'm talking to, potential clients, a lot of times they are using ChatGPT to create these affirmations and read these affirmations out as part of their scripting, so that they can use it or record themselves saying the affirmation and then listen to themselves in the recording, right? Just recently somebody talked about that they did this recording, a 2-minute recording using ChatGPT to record the affirmation or create the script for the affirmation, and then they recorded it and they listen to it before they go to sleep. Again, the prayer and the affirmation, what it does, and let's just dig a little bit deeper, okay? Just want to make sure you understand the difference and why affirmations are not the most effective tools for delivering your desires, right? So what affirmation does is your conscious mind looks for proof of the manifestation working. That's the challenge with affirmations. Your conscious mind operates, it's going to look for proof. You say that you're wealthy, it's going to say, your conscious mind is going to say, where's the money at, right? It's going to look for evidence. And okay, if you're wealthy, if you say that you're a boss, your conscious mind is going to say, all right, well, who's following you like a boss? You know, if you say that you're a diva, your conscious mind is going to be like, okay, where are you at? Where's the spotlight at? Right? So your conscious mind is going to challenge that affirmation. So now you're fighting with your own mind when you say these affirmations and prayers, by the way. Now, with that being said, here's how you manifest your desire quickly. I'm going to teach you a quick trick. It's called Ask-Firmation. Ask-Firmation. Okay, like ask. Question, ask. So I want you to do this quick exercise real quick, especially if you are into doing affirmations. So quick exercise, 2 points here. First, say to yourself, I am a millionaire. Okay, or say whatever your goals are. Right? I am a millionaire. Okay, say it 3 times. I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire, right? That's your affirmation. Now, pause for a second. And how did it feel when you said that? What did your mind think? Or what came to your mind as you said that? Did it feel like it was fake? Did you feel energetic that this was real? Now flip that statement, okay? Flip that affirmation to a question. Why am I becoming more valuable every day? Right? If you position it as a question, you can see there's a big difference, right? You don't feel that resistance. The subconscious mind begins looking for evidence now. Right? So when asking questions, the power of asking instead of affirmation is your subconscious mind is put to work. Right? Your subconscious mind. So if you're looking at your affirmations, change the affirmations around to questions. Why am I so wealthy? Why am I so healthy? Why am I so successful? Why is my life changing so fast? Right? Change them over to questions. Make your subconscious start working for you. Okay? Your conscious mind works really good when it comes to statements and logic, thinking. But your subconscious mind, when you ask the subconscious mind those questions, it knows that, all right, this is my job now. It's time for me to pull up. So know the difference between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is the watcher. The subconscious mind is the doer. The conscious mind is the observer. The subconscious mind creates the experience. You change your life and you learn how to work with the mental. Work with the part of the mind that allows you to expand. So, do you understand the difference between, I missed my exit. Yep. Do you understand the difference between affirmations and ask-firmations? Was it clear today on this topic? I know it's very controversial because we've been trained a certain way, a certain manner of how we've been trained to pray, right? To manifest. You were meant to get this knowledge today. This is $1 million worth of game right here that you have tuned into today, because your character, you have a character for this knowledge. Take advantage of this knowledge. Your character pointed you to this video. Nothing is random or coincidence that you clicked on this video and have watched it all the way through. There's no randomization when it comes to life, when it comes to the universe. Everything happens for a reason. Get this knowledge. You were meant to have this knowledge today to transform your reality. Transform your life. Have you heard the phrase, what you seek is seeking you? Why is that true? It's true because everything is connected. There's no real separation in the field. Everything's connected at some level, which means you're connected to your desire. And your desire is connected to you. So the money that you want, the success, the opportunities, the ideas, the resources, all connected to you through information. Think about that. Think about that knowledge there. If you know everything is connected. Okay, we don't have to go down the quantum world in this lesson, but you know everything is atoms if you listen to all my lessons. Everything is connecting. If something was connected to you, you could not push it away. That's a highlight. Let me remember what I just said. If something was connected to you, you cannot push it away. So when you get desperate and neediness for money, for love, for success, you're sending a frequency or energy that is not yours, that you don't have it. You are saying, I need this because I do not got it. And that's the wrong signal that you're sending to the universe. And this creates a distance. This is why you have to stop seeing your desire, your goals, as something far away from you. You have to see it as something that's already yours. Have you ever noticed the more desperate you want something, the further it always seems like it gets away from you? Right? Went to LA back in January. I had I don't do layovers. I like to go while I'm in the air, just take care of business, get to where I need to get to. So I don't like to do layovers. So the earliest flight was a 5 a.m. flight out of Reagan National Airport. And I said, okay, I'm gonna get to bed. I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock. Now, typically I go to bed about 11:30, 12, midnight. So I'm gonna go to bed at 9 o'clock. And when it got into the bed, and I was like, all right, I need to fall asleep. I gotta fall asleep. I wanna get some sleep. The harder I tried, the more I kept checking the clock, checking the time. I started questioning myself. Why the hell I'm still up? Oh, I need to get to sleep. Right? The more I tried, the more I needed it to happen, the harder it became to get to sleep. Right? And eventually in this story, I laid in the bed till 9 o'clock to about 12 midnight. And then I was out, and I had to get up at 3:30 for a 5 a.m. flight, right? And think about it, have you been to a bar and shot pool? And you can see the people that are You know, when they get to the 8 ball, the last ball, the black ball at the end of the game, you can tell the person that's going to miss the shot, right? Because they might have shot the whole game, they might have been relaxed, shot, you know, had conversation, made their shots confidently. But as soon as they get to that last shot, that 8 ball shot, now it's a neediness that happens. The energy shift. You can feel the energy from the player. They overthink it, right? Now the aim is coming much more sharper, and then they miss the shot. It was less about the shot, right? It was the neediness, the the stress, the allowing the stress. The if I miss this shot, I'm gonna lose this game because I know the guy I'm playing against is going to make it. Anyway, the pressure that that person puts on. Same thing when I said about sleep. You know, I'm trying to get to bed. I'm tired. I can't. Right? Always relationships is a great example. You want the girl bad. You text her. You call her. The more you want her, the further she's away from you. The minute you stop a neediness for her, now things flip. Right? Same thing with your business. Same thing with anything. If you're trying to, you know, today, I was thinking about talking. I knew I was going to record today. I was thinking about doing something on discipline, like having discipline as a core principle. Like I was going to do something on that, but again, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with what we were talking about last night, and just let's, you know, I didn't want to overthink this lesson and stressing about, you know, just trying to stress about how to open it, and I just turned the camera on and just kept it moving. And what it is, what comes out, what comes out. Your inner world is projecting your reality. As within, so without. Right? As within, so without. Your inner world is projecting your external environment. Okay, be aware of that. Your thoughts, your feelings, the energy is shaping what you see. As a business owner, entrepreneur, think about those areas where these things keep repeating. If you've been in the same relationship, right? Got another cousin that's been married 3 times. Okay, this is not a judgment. This is just part of the lesson. This is just for teaching purposes. Married 3 times, 53, 54 years old, 3 times. Every last one of the marriages ended the same way. Every last one of those marriages had the same problem. How many people we know got money problems? Even if they get a lump sum of money, a tax return, they hit the lottery, the same results is going to happen. Why? Why do you think they keep experiencing the same patterns with different people or different circumstances? The same loop continues to happen. It's because the inner world is projecting the outer experience. If you want to change your life, as Michael Jackson said in The Man in the Mirror, start with yourself, start with the inner you. Change your thinking, change your frequency. The purpose of right now today, we're watching this global shift that's happening in the world today, right? This is all frequency lowers. I call it frequency lowers, right? Same thing I talked about that pool shot. You're shooting pool, you're at the last ball, and now you start overthinking. Now you get nervous, right? They just gave out reports. Inflation is high. Is at a high mark for, I think, the first time in 10 years or whatever. The constant mumbling and bumbling about 2 years left on the clock for many Americans, right? Before there be a permanent underclass because of AI, because of the technology. Just to mention recently of the new, we just talking about $1 million today because it's just been fresh on the mind of a couple of topics, a couple of clients. We just talking about $1 million. They're saying today that $7 million is the new $1 million. I kind of agree too with that. By the way, that's another topic. But $7 million is the new $1 million. All of this is meant to bend your nerves. Overthink. Like an athlete late in the game, they got to make a key shot. Overthinking now. The pressure is on. Know this. You're going to have a lot of people that deny or say, hey, you know what, you can't make $1 million a month. We're talking about a year, a month. All things are possible. Everything is connected. Why can't you make $1 million a month? Do not let your friends, your family, co-workers, business partners trick you out of your position. There is a difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is just sound. Listening means you letting it affect you. You letting that impact you. Hearing is background noise. Listening means it's influencing your mind. Okay, that's the key. It's influencing your mind. It's the news today of the Straits, of a Supreme Court ruling, of tariffs. If the news today is influencing your mind, then recalibrate that. Okay, start within. All right. So the lesson for today is this: affirmation is not how you. It's not about. It's not how manifestation work. Right? We talked about that thoroughly today. Ask-Firmation, asking questions. Ask-Firmation is the key to manifesting your desires quickly and fast. Right? That's the difference. That's the point. So before we go, in my one-on-one mentorship program, I got a program. It's a one-on-one mentorship, 6-month mentorship program. It's called Ethereum X. I help people identify the hidden subconscious block that they can't see on their own. And I teach them how to work with the subconscious mind to create what they truly want. From today's lesson, you've seen the foundation of my work and why my clients consistently achieve more while grinding and hustling less. Right? The shift, the transformation, or the change it's not about the strategy or the tactics. It's understanding and applying this esoteric knowledge, this hidden knowledge, this metaphysical laws that governs how the universe works. Once you learn how to work with the universe, the results flow in without the hustle hard culture. Okay, my clients, they don't grind. They don't have to hustle and grind. They align with these universal principles that I taught today. One of them today we talked about. So my program, the one-on-one program, is not for somebody just jumping off the porch and just getting into business. You got to have been established in your business, that you're successful in your business and you hit a plateau, or you're stuck at a certain mark, or you're looking to climb even further. So you can do that, or you can download my free guide. It's called the Divine Identity Blueprint. So the link is in the description. Before I go, because I got a quick meeting this morning, I'm gonna stretch your thinking a little bit more. I just want you to reflect on this before we go today. In Scripture, John, I think it's 25. John 3:27. 3:27. I'm in the car. Just look it up. If I'm off, then just go ahead and post it. But 3:27. Right? John the Baptist says, "A man can receive nothing unless it has been given to him from heaven." Right? That verse is powerful because it explains manifestation. It explains prayer in a deeper way. You cannot receive anything unless it's first given to you from heaven. A man cannot receive nothing unless it's received from heaven. But when I say heaven, I'm not talking about a place you go when you check out of here. Okay, I'm not talking about a place you go when you die. I'm talking about a state of consciousness. Heaven is an inner state of peace, of gratitude, of knowing, of harmony. It's a place within you where you're no longer stressing, hustling, desperate, and neediness, forcing things, begging. You're already there within yourself. You're already whole. And when you hold a desire from that state, you create a different frequency. And that's why being still and being still, having stillness is so important, because when you can become still, your body returns to heaven. Your mind stops fighting desires, right? Fighting, because internally you enter reality where it's already done. That's a major point there, okay? All of my clients, all right, my final lesson, final bucket for today, before the game is over. Final bucket. One of the key tips I'm going to give you today, before you do any affirmations, right? Before you do any of your manifestation techniques, before you do anything, whatever you want, you have to be still. Bring the mind, okay, to a conscious state. Be present. Meditation works a lot. Breath work works a lot to slow down the mind into a meditative state. Okay, that's the heaven. Whatever you desire must become real within. Make it real within when you're in a meditative state. That's how you enter heaven. And that's the lesson.